Look inside yourself. You are more than what you have become. Remember who you are.
I just love that so much. That is like the best soundbite ever from Happily Ever After. And it's so fitting today because they just started testing Happily Ever After last week. Super excited about that. I'm going to talk about that with our guest here in just a minute because I know he's watched it. He had to. But I'm really excited about today's show. We have a fantastic guest with us today. You see some of his artwork hanging behind me right here if you're watching us live or catching the replay. If you're not, he is one of the most creative guys you're going to meet when it comes to shirts and designs. He has so much energy. You talk about a Disney historian. This guy knows his stuff. And we're going to have him on in a couple of weeks again to talk about the Haunted Mansion and the history behind it. So I'm really excited. I hope you're as excited about it as I am. I'm trying to find the intro clip here to roll it so we can get into today's show. What's happening? Welcome to Mouse Ears and Magic, episode number 91. It's the number one Disney podcast out there, whether it's on YouTube or your podcast apps. Maybe not number one, but I'm going to start telling myself that just so that, you know, it gets the energy going. I'm really excited. I have a lot of energy today. We took last week off. It was Father's Day. Had some things going on here at the house. And now we're back in it with a Self-Respecting Men episode. If you don't know the story behind that, my mother-in-law asked my wife, what kind of self-respecting man loves Disney the way your husband does? Thanks, mother-in-law. We got content every month because of you, because I am going to show you every self-respecting man who loves Disney. I love it. That is not a hate or anything. That is honestly like, I'm thankful for that because it has been a lot of fun. If you have not caught our recent ones, I highly suggest going back and checking those out. Anyways, I'm so excited. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, go do that. You can do so at youtube.com/mouseearsandmagicpod. Follow us on the socials, Instagram, Facebook. We're on Twitter. I'm trying to get into that. I'm still struggling. I forget to post because I've never done Twitter. So I'm getting better. Maybe. Not really. But I'll get there. I promise. If you would like to support the show, simply like our stuff. Like engage in our stuff. Comment. Share it out. Or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/mouseearsandmagicpod and give a monthly donation that helps us upgrade our equipment. We're constantly looking to upgrade. This week, I'm getting new mic stands, so I'm really excited about that. Thanks to our amazing Patreon members, Chase Ross, Christina Hall, Abby Underwood, Sarah Thurgood, Katie B, Allison Crouch, Derek Collier from Satisfactual Sign Co, Amy and Dana from the Run Eat Drink podcast, Lisa from Custom Boutique by Lisa, and Elizabeth C., one of the super mods in the Disney YouTube community. We're so excited for all of our to have all of our Patreon members. They mean the world to us. Love them so much. Before we get into today's show, let's pay some bills. Mouse Ears and Magic is brought to you by Enchanting Escapes by Lori. Lori is here to help you plan your next getaway and create memories that will last a lifetime. No matter where you want to go, whether Disney, Universal, Sandals, or another amazing destination, Lori can help you get there. Leave all the details to Lori and enjoy the beauty of the destination without the hassle of the planning. Lori's services are at no additional charge. You heard me right, no additional charge. So head over to www.enchantingescapesbylori.com and get a free quote today. While you're there, take advantage of resort walking tour videos, blogs, free downloads, and magic maker recipe videos to keep the magic alive in your house throughout the year. That's www.enchantingescapesbylori.com. What's going on with the video?
Dude, first of all, I mean, who cut that video? I need them to do like some WalrusCarp commercials for me.
dude, so me and Mark kind of collab on the video ads that you see us run on our shows. That was weird though. I don't know what happened with the video. Was it skipping on your end or was it just me?
No. It was absolutely perfect. It was phenomenal. Okay. No joke. I absolutely loved it.
Dude, I was like, what in the heck is happening right now?
No, you were good, brother. You were absolutely perfect.
So here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Kirk from WalrusCarp. You see all of his stuff behind him. I did not do a good job of hanging up shirts behind me. I hung them too low, man.
I got shirts everywhere. Every single one of these boxes filled with shirts. I got sunglasses over there. It's everything WalrusCarp around here. Actually, my favorite thing, I got to show you guys real quick because I got this for my birthday in June. This is actually a Disney artist named Gene Gonda did the Walrus and the Carpenter from Alice in Wonderland.
That is awesome.
He put our little logo in the center, which I thought was just something really dope for us. And we've been around for almost 2.5 years, which is crazy to me. So that was just something really, really cool.
Yeah, that is fantastic. And like I said,
and Diz Dad, Satisfactual, what's going on? I'm already getting called out for dad jokes.
Yeah, Katie B's here. Dwayne, that is this Diz Dad from the co-host on this DisLife podcast. You had a couple great episodes with them recently where you and Dwayne actually had a dad joke off.
Yep.
So he's already calling you out. So go ahead, give us one.
All right, ready, man? What Disney princess absolutely loves cows?
I don't know.
Mulan. Come on, bro.
Come on. Oh, come on. That was bad.
They have to be bad, dude. If they're good, then they wouldn't be dad jokes.
That is so true. Keep it classy. That's Garth that's hanging out with us today. I think he's actually down in Disney World right now on a solo trip. Which
dude, I am super jealous. You know, solo trips are such an amazing experience because you get to be 100% selfish about what you like to do, which is
right.
Sometimes you need that, especially with us. We have 2 young girls. My wife, I do solo trips. I do couples trip, just my wife and I, and then we do our family trips as well. So they all are very uniquely different.
That's amazing. And Garth, he's actually a Disneyland guy. So I think he's only been to Disney World like once or twice maybe and never had the full experience. And he was actually our first self-respecting man who loves Disney. So there you go.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Disneyland is wild, and I'm so excited for everybody in California who gets to experience it again, and even people who are just outside the state are welcomed back. And all the rides and attractions look incredible. It seems like they did a really nice job with Avengers Campus, so super, super stoked to when we get back there to check that out.
Yes, and
we'll never see an Avengers Campus at Disney World due to licensing issues, but we got our own things, which is cool.
Exactly. And here he is, Derek from Satisfactual Sign Co. He hates that so much. He'll comment on here in just a minute. They're so annoying. Like he hates it.
That's the best, man. This is like morning zoo radio. You got little touch buttons already programmed. You probably have a sweet little setup over there.
Yeah, I got a Rodecaster Pro, right? So it's a fantastic setup. Finally talked Mark into getting one too. So he's rocking the sound bites and everything. I've been really, really pushing the sound bites, trying to get better with them. I have, some people that I like with Derek, for example, Satisfactual. I mean, that just works perfect for him.
Yeah, but I'm such a Splash Mountain fan. You can play that anytime and I'm into it.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see here. Yeah, you already said hey to Justin Grant. He's here. He's an incredible supporter of the show. He's always sharing things out. He's awesome.
I'm wearing him in that picture.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, we were at Hershey Park. We were at Hershey Park today, which is in Hershey, Pennsylvania. So everybody knows Hershey's chocolate. So I had to wear my Mickey Premium Bar chocolate shirt at Chocolate World, which, by the way, that is one of the best dark rides outside of a Disney park, hands down. Oh my God, it's tremendous. They added a bunch of audio animatronics where before it's an Omni-Mover attraction. So very similar to all the Omni-Movers like Haunted Mansion.
Right.
And It has great music. It has great audio animatronics. They added some more 3D effects to it, and you get some like smells in there of chocolate. There's a roasting tunnel where the beans get roasted and kind of like infrared heats you a little bit. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Nice. I'm trying to get the stream shared out here. I gotta get it over on the DisLife group page. There we go. It's always a struggle, man, when you're trying to run tech on the show, trying to get through the intro, because you can't share out lives until it's actually live. So it's always
you gotta run like 40 things. You're like an octopus, man. Just keep on grabbing, touching, poking things until everything's live and working. Which, you know what? I mean, the one thing that's really cool about all the tech is you can repurpose. You know, this live isn't just live here; it's live beyond. You know, and then people can listen to it auditorily or see it visually. I mean, it's just, this is a wild world we're living in, and this is like the really basic stuff. There's some really crazy stuff happening too.
Yeah, no kidding. And there it is, Derek. God, I hate that. But it's okay as long as I keep his sign hanging here. This Splash Mountain sign. I gotta get some better lighting for it, but I've got his sign hanging here. So
which one did you get? Because he has several, and they're all really cool.
Yeah, it's just the one that says Splash Mountain there. So
okay.
Yeah, I got to get some better lighting on it.
It's literally on the mic stand. I got you. Roger.
Yeah. And let's see, Garth, he's back now. Blew up the Instagram like a 14-year-old cheerleader. Love it. And Cricket joining in from Australia. Early morning there, right, Cricket?
Yeah, that's south is like Perth, right? That would be like Perth, Australia.
You know way more about Australia than I do, apparently.
I just named one thing. Tasmania.
Let's talk about that for a second. Why is Australia so underrepresented in Walt Disney World?
It's because sadly, I think the United Kingdom kind of like, because all of the expats and prisoners who filled up Australia, they figured it's good enough with the United Kingdom. But honestly, like, there really isn't a lot of, I mean, there's so many places in the world that are not represented in the World Showcase. I don't know if Australia would be one of the first ones to bring in if they were to add extra countries. There are a lot of pad sites. If you ever get the chance, go on to Google Maps and just type in the World Showcase or type in Epcot and look around, and you'll see all these individual spacings between a lot of the countries. They can fit at least 6 more comfortably.
Yes. And I really feel like Australia should be represented in Animal Kingdom, honestly. I mean, with the extreme wildlife that they have there, there's so much that we could do. Let's wipe out Dino Land. Let's put Australia there.
Well, you know what? We do get some animals from Australia when you go to Disney's Animal Kingdom. To me, one of the coolest little trails, and it's a little bit far off. It's right in front. So when you see the flamingos and the sea otters, there is a little path that goes around the base of the Tree of Life. And there's 2, I forget what kind of vultures they are, but they've been consistently trying to have them mate because they're endangered. But then there's all these red kangaroo that are jumping around in that same exact area. And it's funny because the vultures actually run that section of that like little animal enclosure, and the kangaroos steer clear because the vultures are the pinnacle animals in there.
Yeah. Cricket says it's 6:42 a.m. on Monday morning there. So hello from the future.
Good day.
And there's Elizabeth, the super mod Patreon member. She's amazing. Cricket does say that they have their own food booth during the food festival.
I have seen that. You know, it's funny that we do get to experience some of those other countries with the booths, depending on Food and Wine typically is where you'll see many more than any other. Like Festival of the Holidays doesn't have a lot of extra booths, and especially extra countries. And then also they added, you know, by offboarding a little bit into the World Show Place, which is the convention center area off to the right-hand side in between Canada and the UK. That's kind of allowed them to put some more external kiosks, which is really cool. Also, the best hidden bathroom in Epcot. There's probably about 80 stalls. So if you need some private time, the World Show Place is the spot to be.
When Mark listens back to this, I guarantee you he's going to be fussing. Quit giving away the bathrooms.
Oh, stop, dude. Here's the thing that's so funny about any of these tips. I put out a video about how to rope drop at Animal Kingdom, and someone commented back and they were so excited and they used it and they didn't wait for Flight of Passage. And, you think about that and go like, oh man, this now the secret's out. Everybody's going to do it. Nobody does it. Only the hardcore people do it. And guess what? They already know. They're already doing that. It's not for the casual once every 5 years, once every 10 years, once in a lifetime type trips. It's the people who go consistently that know all this craziness, because everybody's too focused on wrangling the team and just you're so immersed and starstruck. It's very confusing when you're in the parks too.
Yeah.
Navigating the parks is a challenge for your first time.
Yeah. And Derek says he's got to get a Brazilian pavilion first.
So Brazil has been talked about as a World Showcase edition for a long time. And I think that's placating too, because a lot of travelers to Disney have been Brazilians. There's a lot of people from South America. The flight is not too terrible, and they do a lot of tour groups. So it's very popular destination. And plus we get some really good Portuguese style food as well. There's a lot of cool influences there.
Yeah. Yeah. Now,
I mean, we have gotten the Brazilian cheese bread, which you can get during, I think that's during Festival of the Arts. And then if you go to Skipper Canteen in Magic Kingdom, there's a secret menu that has Brazilian cheese bread on it all year long. So you can go and have some Brazilian food right in Magic Kingdom.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. All right. So I don't want to get into too much detail about your shop, because we've talked about, we want to do like basically a complete breakdown of your shop. Because you have some of the most creative stuff. I mean, right behind me here, you see Bread Man Tells No Tales. We've got Chef Waffles up here for the kids. Just great stuff. So I want to do like a complete breakdown of where you get your ideas from, how you come up with them and everything in another show. But we got to talk about your name, WalrusCarp. Alice in Wonderland, right? What inspired that? Where did you get the cup from?
So this is actually from Park Hopping Duo does nice. Like some of this cricket kind of stuff. So, but like Lisa could make this easily too. Yeah. But it's just one of those cool vinyl cups. But this is Park Hopping Designs. Park Hopping Duo is a couple from California that go to Knott's Berry Farm, and they go to Disneyland, and they go to Universal Hollywood as well. Katie, thank you so much. I appreciate that. She said, I love your stuff. Thanks. Yes.
And Lisa, which didn't even point this out, Lisa is the reason, Lisa and Rob, like she's the one that kind of, the both of them kind of hooked us up and introduced us to each other, which is fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that you find about the Disney just community in general. We're there for all the right reasons. We go to the parks to have fun and to just experience a little elements of magic and a lot of this nostalgia that we have when we were growing up, experience that generationally with our kids. And so almost everybody comes from that same place of love and passion. So it's a great space to be in. And although it can be competitive at times, it's not in a negative way. And yeah, Lisa connected us long time ago on that really fun show.
Yeah. Disney
it was like a game show one. Yeah.
Yeah. So
circling back to your original question. So I'll pull up our logo is a walrus, right? And he's got a little on his hat, a little saw for Walrus and the Carpenter. Now, why is Walrus and the Carpenter significant? Well, first of all, Alice in Wonderland is my absolute favorite Disney animated. And here is the actual Walrus and Carpenter. So WalrusCarp is just a shortening of Walrus and Carpenter. A lot of branding when, this just comes down to how you make a brand. It comes down to your name. Yep. Originally, I had probably close to 120 different names, and it was between two. It was between WalrusCarp and it was between Magical Park Designs. And the problem with Magical Park Designs for me was that it didn't really speak to us or who we are or what we are. It just happened to be loosely, implicitly tied with Disney. And I didn't necessarily want to be tied directly to Disney, and that's such a personal preference. WalrusCarp means nothing. It's nonsensical, just like Alice in Wonderland is a completely nonsensical experience,
right.
But it's just for fun. And you can see that with all of our designs. You know, behind me, this always gets screwed up. Here we go. You have Sipping Beauty, which is a rosé wine bottle of Sleeping Beauty. She's just chilling out there. And like, so we don't take ourselves seriously at all. And we don't think that that's important. And in terms of the name, it's memorable, it's interesting, it's different, but it means nothing until there's a brand built behind it. So through extended period of time and people looking at not only our content, which our content is basically teaching people about Disney food, which the whole entire story of the Walrus and the Carpenter is that they're looking to get something to eat. And that's kind of how we are in the Disney parks as well. So almost all of our designs involve Disney park food, exclusive Disney park food, Mickey Premium Bar shirts, Dole Whip shirts. Any of the t-shirts have food elements to them. We do a lot of food reviews as well. And then just sharing some of those cool, I call them Disney details, like hidden things that the Imagineers put on rides. And then a little bit of how-to stuff is in our content as well. So, nice. But yeah, that's the origins. Comes from Alice in Wonderland, Walrus and the Carpenter, shortened to WalrusCarp. Plus, we got the email, or not the email, the URL, WalrusCarp. So WalrusCarp.com. So, like, you know, it's hard to be original. It's hard to not have like a ridiculously long website name. And in fact, if you look at our Instagram handle, WalrusCarp Clothing, the only reason why we don't have WalrusCarp is because somebody used WalrusCarp once, never posted anything. And until we trademark our name, Instagram won't give us that specific distinction. But once we do that, we'll actually get verified as well. So it's just a process that I don't feel like going through yet. It's not really that significant or important to us, but right. Yeah.
That's awesome. I find it fitting, though, that do you know what celebrity birthday is today?
Who is it?
Catherine Beaumont, who was the voice of Alice in Wonderland and also of Wendy Darling in Peter Pan.
Oh, Wendy Darling, which, by the way, many crossovers in Peter Pan come from the Alice universe, with Smee being the White Rabbit. So, yeah, it's really cool. I love how they use a lot of those characters over. And it actually is probably the main reason why I like Peter Pan, because it's an okay animated film. It's not one of my favorites, but I enjoy it a lot more because of her voice for Wendy.
Yeah, and I saw that pop up today, and I'm like, that is the most perfect timing ever.
Great coincidence.
Yes.
And you know, as a kid, I used to rewatch Walrus and the Carpenter, and we actually wrote it down. I have a friend who can, no joke, we were maybe 11, and we wrote down, this is like before you had lyrics online and everything, and we wrote, because we wanted to know what they were even saying. We probably watched it like 30 times on Betamax. Dating myself here. Betamax, wrote it down and memorized it when I was like 11 or 12.
That's awesome.
Happy birthday, Katie.
It is Katie's birthday. Katie, we have a special message from Rob.
This is your birthday song. It isn't very long.
There you go.
Yeah, That's and it. Guess what? It's my unbirthday too.
Really?
It is.
What
I'm guessing it's yours too.
Is it? Yeah. Oh, unbirthday.
Mm-hmm.
See, you got me there for a second. Gosh, see, this is the problem with working nights. It's easy to get things over on me. You know, like usually this is like my nap time on work days. So yeah, you slid that one by me. Good one. All right, so tell us a little about yourself. Where did your Disney story begin? Why are you so into Disney? Because I mean, you're like, you know, us and Mark, where you have the Instagram, the TikTok. You're killing TikTok, bro. Killing it.
Dude, I will say this to anybody listening who wants to create and cultivate a following. TikTok is the best for organic reach on the planet Earth. You could have 0 followers and still have a video blow up to 1 million+ views. That does not exist on Instagram. That does not exist on YouTube. That does not exist on Spotify.
Right.
There is no other platform like that. And what's even crazier on TikTok is they're still doling out money to creators, which doesn't happen unless you hit really high thresholds on other
Right.
places. So it's really, really wild. But TikTok, it's very different, right? So like it's hard, especially the older you are. I'm 37, and you go, isn't it a bunch of kids? Well, it was originally a bunch of kids who were doing dancing. It is almost zero of that now, and they're no joke. Big brands are putting a lot of money towards it. I just saw an influencer on there who she originally started out doing dances, and it's not like Charlie D, but this chick now has I think like 2 million followers, and she was doing a Black & Decker commercial, and it still fit her vibe, but she was straight up doing like weed whacking, and you're like, she just got paid tens of thousands of dollars to work with Black & Decker, which is such a weird fit. But you know, if you want to build a brand, you got to go where the eyes are, where the attention is. And sadly, TikTok, you have to embrace it because it's a real thing.
Yeah,
I don't post as much on Instagram now because it's just not as valuable as TikTok. It just doesn't
really
get
not
people.
But I do know, so like the bigger accounts on Instagram, so like with Derek, you know, he's got over 11,000 last time I checked. He's probably over 12 or 13 by now. But they're, you know, really pushing him. So like Instagram's trying to keep their bigger accounts going on over there, trying to keep them from switching over to TikTok too much. But I mean, Derek, he only has like 30 posts on TikTok and has almost 4,000 followers.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a wild experience where I had one video go to 5.6 million people, and I think within the span of 48 hours, I had gained 11,000 followers.
It's crazy. It's
super, super crazy. See, look, Derek just said he's getting paid for lives now. So like this is a real thing that, you know, social media companies want to keep their audiences. They want to keep their creators because Instagram doesn't produce anything. It's all user generated. So if you take advantage of that user generated, at some point, the group will move to a better environment. And right now, Snapchat and TikTok are better environments for creators. Now, I think for brands too. I mean, the more eyes, and I don't really put out content that's like, hey, buy my shirts, because I want people to have really authentic experiences with us, really grow a trust level. And, you know, maybe less than 2% can mention or talk about our clothes. A lot of times I'm in our clothing. So if people have an interest, they can see it and follow. But I don't just post like, here's our clothes. Although I do share, you know, like how do we do design work and stuff. Right. You know, like Derek, all he needs to do is put on a live on TikTok and straight up just show people how he's making his signs. And I guarantee he blows up. His work's incredible already. You know, you just do it consistently and you'll have an amazing following. And then you get paid for that too, which is crazy.
And that's exactly what his posts are on TikTok. You know, of course, he's had some controversy up there. I don't know if you see that where he had a video where he was making his Mickey waffles, right?
Yep.
And people were like, "Oh, that's wood." He's like, "No, it's not." And like it caused this big blow up to the point where the poor guy can't even have comments turned on anymore because people are trolling him like crazy, saying it's wood.
Now, Derek, let's chat real quick. Turn the comments on and allow the controversy because it's just going to grow you that much more. The one for me that went to 5.6 million, and it was like share the one. This was like a stitched video, which means that I just tagged on to somebody else's video, and their question was, "Tell me something that seems illegal but isn't." And I said, "You can order something from the Contemporary and park there and walk to the Magic Kingdom." Very, you know. For the people who live in Orlando, they're like, oh, don't tell everybody. Well, you've been doing it for years. It's not going to change, right? And then for people who haven't heard it, it was like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing. So it was like both sides of the spectrum colliding in the comments, and it had thousands and thousands of comments. And I went in and responded to every single one. And don't worry about trolling, man. Like, honestly, remember, when you put yourself out there on the internet, just have the confidence that none of it really truly matters if you feel good about what you put out there, you know?
Yeah. And I it's a fault of mine. I kind of like the trolls, right? I'm bad about actually engaging with trolls.
Dude, James, there's an account, this chick, all she does is pops online and says the reverse of what she's doing. So she'll be like, I use this, and it'll be like shaving cream, obviously shaving cream, to brush my teeth. And she'll put it on a toothbrush, and then it'll cut away. And obviously she's now using toothpaste. And people in the comments are like, that's ridiculous. You're crazy. You're a fool. And no joke, she crushes. She has like close to 10 million followers.
Yeah,
I hear
just follow it.
She's gonna have like a coffee company who will be like, hey, put creamer in or whatever. It's insane. But Katie, thank you for following us both on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah, and see, I had one person, because I posted the mid-credit scene on Cruella, right? It was like the day after it came out, because I was talking to, Mark and, some others who had seen the movie but didn't see that mid-credit scene.
Oh,
and I was like, dude, a lot of people miss this. Good. So I recorded it and I put it on TikTok, right? It started blowing up, and I'm getting hit with, spoilers, and this one person says, spoilers at all? Movie just came out, FFS, which we won't talk about what that means. I was like, if you didn't know they had Dalmatians, I apologize. I feel like 101 Dalmatians was a spoiler for that one.
Well, number one, the movie already came out. Number two, it was direct streaming if you didn't even want to leave your house. So you had instant access if you wanted to pay $30.
Right.
And honestly, that's the stuff, like, I'm not saying be controversial to be controversial, because that's not fair. If it's something authentic, it's something that excites you, you probably excited as many people that got upset, like both. And you didn't ruin anything. It's totally okay because somebody else posted it somewhere else. You're totally cool.
Amy and Dana from the Run Eat Drink podcast and Patreon members just hopped in and said they keep thinking they need to get on TikTok. I feel like y'all would be incredible with TikTok.
Do it.
We can talk. We can do like a little crash course with y'all. I feel like y'all would be awesome. Y'all would kill it with y'all's personalities. And they are at Disney right now. They actually just did a virtual run there at Disney. So they're down there having some fun.
Have a blast in Disney. Thanks so much for coming on here.
Shauna says she refuses to download TikTok. You will. You get stuck. You get trapped.
Shauna, you got to delete one. Delete the one you're not using and get on that one.
Elizabeth, it will probably consume you more than Pinterest did. It really will. You get stuck. Where TikTok actually, they include things where you've been scrolling too long. They have videos that pop up and it's like, hey, you've been scrolling for a while. Why don't you put the phone down, go grab a water or something, which is really cool.
Well, it depends what you're into. That's the beauty of where TikTok is now. There's such a niche that my feed is almost 95% Disney, right? Yeah. Where your feed, let's say you're into sewing or you're into making candles or you want vegan 3-ingredient only recipes. Like there is something for everyone. And it all exists in there. I just was allowed to do more than 60 seconds on there. So now I can do like up to 3 minutes for videos. So that was pretty cool. So I could start like cross using some of the stuff that I had on Instagram. And yes, it's very, very addictive, but I use it for brand building for WalrusCarp more than anything. And I know we're on this crazy rabbit hole of TikTok, but it's if you're trying to build a brand or you're trying to grow your podcast or you're trying to grow your YouTube, it is the best spot for organic reach.
Yep. And it's really cool getting the notification on TikTok saying, user, whatever, like Brad's grandma just followed you. Right. And then 2 seconds later, you get a notification from Instagram saying Brad's grandma just followed you. And it's like, okay, cool. Like,
so like, how Facebook has somewhat become very uncool and young people do not have Facebook accounts. They may not even have Instagram accounts because that's kind of not cool. But TikTok and Snapchat are how they talk. So if you're especially like Elizabeth saying, grandson tried to put me on this TikTok, like you'll see it. I'll be in a Target and there's kids like randomly dancing in a Target. Like and you go like, oh, I don't like this or whatever. They're doing something that's completely harmless and having fun and interacting with their friends. Yes, it's very weird. It's very different. But riding my bike and going in the woods and blowing up things with firecrackers, was weird and different too. Yes. It's all just weird and different in a different era. So you either embrace or you reject, but realize that by rejecting, you're losing out on some really fun experiences that could be out there. You know,
and Elizabeth, I just want you to know that you telling him to stop probably prevented your grandson from going viral.
Well, maybe if he caught you saying stop and put it on there, you might be going viral right now, because there's a lot of those kind of videos.
Oh, she said good. All right, so back to the question of, I think we asked about 2 hours ago before so let's talk about this, your start, with Disney, where your passion began. Were you a kid when you first went and get wrapped in then? Just let us know all about it.
Yeah, so my experience, a lot of theme parks growing up, a lot. That's the main thing that we did for family trips. We're based just outside of Philadelphia, so Knoebels, Hershey Park, Dorney Park, Six Flags Great Adventure, Storybook Land, Sesame Place. Some of my earliest memories have been at Sesame Place when I was a little kid, and Storybook Land. Then going down to like places like Busch Gardens in Virginia, and then obviously doing Disney trips as well. Lots of Disney World trips. And I got some really, not that many trips with my parents, probably as a total, probably like 5 or so. And then always I was going down since I was like 18, 19 and could rent hotel rooms. So yeah, for me, Disney has been a huge part. And where I remember this very pinnacle moment, my parents had splurged on a trip. I remember my dad actually just told me this story that he said to my mom because of the cost. We stayed at the Poly. And we had a lagoon facing, so a Seven Seas lagoon facing, second floor level room. And we were only there for, 3 nights or whatever, but we had concierge service. It was insane. I would go down and get a croissant in the morning. I actually have a picture of me opening a door. I'm like 11, getting a croissant. So it's actually now where the DVC office is in the lobby. So, where the doors go out to Pineapple Lanai, it's on the left-hand side, like right before you go to Captain Cook's and Grotto. I remember going to Captain Cook's at like midnight and getting ice cream with my dad. And we were watching the nighttime water pageant, right? And I remember saying to my parents, when I get older, I'm going to buy this room and live in Disney. And that has been true to me. And my wife and I, we actually got engaged at a theme park. We got engaged at Hershey Park. So it's a part of our culture and our family. Our kids are pass holders for Disney. They've been down there already about 6 times. So yeah, and they're really young. They're only 3 and 4. It's how we really love theme parks. That's what we like to spend our money on. And experiences mean the world to us. So that's what's made us. And Disney does it better than anybody else. Universal has come along. Dollywood is actually fantastic. She's
Dollywood's killing
incredible. Dude, really well themed. She also is the #1 innovator for roller coasters. This is like a weird fun fact. She has had more firsts, like record-breaking firsts with ride systems than any other park. Dollywood.
Really?
No joke. She did the first wooden coaster with a linear induction launch. So like she had this one coaster that did both a 0 to 40 launch and then a backwards one launch backwards, which had never been done before. She integrates audio animatronics in almost all of the rides, including the coasters. It's unreal. But yeah,
that's awesome.
I'm gushing about that. But Disney, and of course, growing up with the movies. I mean, I grew up in the era of the most amazing animated movies. This is pre-Pixar. Toy Story was at the tail end of my youth. But, like Lion King was when I was starting to age out and Hunchback was coming out. So like I got to see the best of the best.
Right.
In terms of iconic movies that are still so apparent in the parks with IP. Ariel, so Little Mermaid, Be Our Guest, so Beauty and the Beast. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, Elizabeth says that the Poly was the first place she stayed with her son in 1973. There was 1 park and 2 hotels. Yeah.
I mean, it's so original. And, the other thing, too, is I went to school to be history and secondary education. So I actually taught high school history for 3 years. And to me, what's so entrenched, and you can go as deep or as far back as you want, but the stories that Imagineers came up with creating these attractions and these experiences, and those hidden Disney details really add such a crazy level of fun. Our kids love hidden Mickeys. So like all of those things make replayability or re-experiencing that much better. And then I love sharing it, right?
Right.
Sharing those things with guests. There was one time I was taking a video of, there's an Oswald the Lucky Rabbit in one oval rock and then two little ear rocks in between Enchanted Tales with Belle and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, right in the center of that path. And I'm taking a video of it, and these guests come over and say, "Hey, what are you recording?" I said, "This is Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, which is a hidden Oswald, which is the only one." And hidden Mickeys, this is the precursor to Mickey. And they're like, "Oh my God, that's so cool." And then I see them taking selfies with it. It's just, I love the fact that people would just completely gloss over these things, as they should for their very first trips.
Right.
Focus on attractions, focus on food, focus on experiences. But you can go back and re-experience so much more. And I have probably scratched maybe 1 to 2% of all the cool Disney details that are out there.
Right. And Jacob Hagan, welcome in. New name there. Hadn't seen him. He says his favorite park is Epcot, which I have a feeling, is that your favorite park, Kurt?
When I was a kid, yes. I was a super nerd, super geek. Plus, hype me up on all that Club Cool. I think it was Kona or something from Germany that had more caffeine than the other ones. Oh, I'd be cranking those bad boys left and right. Sticky feet and all in there. Do you remember, like, your feet would stick in Club Cool?
Oh, yeah.
So I geeked out. Plus, I forget what the pavilion was called now, but where they had Body Wars, which was like Star Tours,
right,
but you were shrunk down to remove a splinter, and you're on a red blood cell, and there's white blood cells.
Yep.
I geeked out on all of that stuff. But coincidentally, Epcot has moved down in the pecking order, and now my second favorite park, which used to be my least favorite park, is Disney's Animal Kingdom, because I realized that it is one of the most incredible zoos on the planet. And once you get out of the space that it needs to have a ton of attractions, you can really enjoy that place.
Yeah. Yeah. And the great thing is the attractions that it does have are fantastic. Everest is absolutely amazing. The safari, I hate dinosaur, but you got Pandora. The attractions are fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, the best way to explain the park for attractions is Joe Rohde got to do everything he ever wanted to do. And as an Imagineer, that had to have been amazing. And he only got cut down a little bit in terms of budget, but what he did accomplish in that has really created some amazing spaces. And I understand where you're coming from with dinosaur. You know, it's definitely jerky. I actually, when I ride that, I hold on. I know that's like makes me a grandpa, but it won't like shatter your back if you do that, if you hold on, because it does jostle you like crazy. Yeah, I just heard about doing that.
And it's not for tall guys, you know.
How tall are you, dude?
I'm about 6'4".
Okay, I'm 6'2". What is it about tall guys that you feel you got more leverage?
My knees, man.
Oh, your knees.
They're in the back of the...
Do you jam up on the? You hit the front.
Yep.
Yeah, there is. Especially if do you bring a park bag? Are you a park bag guy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like, it is definitely. It's definitely really close. You know, I learned this trick though. Anytime you don't have a lot of space, and I learned this from going to Six Flags. There was a ride there called the Runaway Train, and they would always tell us on kids, and I had a season pass from there from 13 all the way to 25. Runaway Train, cross your legs. So if you cross your legs, like just your ankles, you'll have so much more leg room. No joke, it really does work.
Interesting.
Yeah, look, dude, you're learning.
It makes sense. I mean, I'm sitting here and I cross my legs, and it drops your knees. It
drops your knees and drops your hips into a more comfortable position where you're not slammed up. Like where if you have your feet, like I'm doing it right now. Like if you have your feet flat, you really gain like an extra, probably about 1.5 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
You're going to be crossing them ankles on Dinosaur and loving it.
Probably not. Still got that chiropractor bill afterwards. Dwayne says Seven Dwarfs gets gets his legs on there. Big Thunder Mountain's another one where I jam my knees up.
Yeah, Big Thunder's tight. I love that ride. I don't know if they're going to still plus it before the 50th because I think we're running up against it. And I love Disneyland's version so much better. Not only do they have the animatronic goat that bleats at you at the top, but also at the end that firework, where the fuse is being lit and goes all the way to the top, and then there's an explosion and they puff out steam. We need that. That is so much better than our finale. Even though I really do love that attraction, it's so well done.
Yeah. So now we know Animal Kingdom's your second favorite, right? So what's your favorite?
My favorite is always going to be Magic Kingdom. There's no way to trump that ever. Number one, it has the most attractions, which when I started my Disney experience and just theme park experience in general, I was very attraction heavy. And I still think it absorbs crowds really well because people are forced into queues. Now, that could change with virtual queues moving forward or a paid fast pass, so that may be integrated a little bit different.
Right.
But it still absorbs crowds really nicely. Epcot does it better. Animal Kingdom does a decent job. Hollywood Studios is awful for it. Hollywood Studios is actually my least favorite because of the way that it's shaped and evolved, even though I think it's the best park at night. The attractions lit up are insane. They are so good.
Yeah. So does that make Hollywood Studio? That's your least favorite?
Yeah. And it's sad because I love the IP of Star Wars. I'm one of the biggest Star Wars geeks, and I would love to just do a solo trip where all I do is stay in Batu the entire day, do the games on the Play app where you scan everything and read it and go on the experiences. I started reading the book Black Spire Outpost, which explains the backstory, which I thought would be important too, because I do want to stay on the Halcyon, aka the Star Wars hotel that's opening up next year. That looks incredible. I've never done a cruise before, but to me, that's probably the closest thing you get to a land cruise. With tons of experiences in this hotel that has no windows, so they have to entertain you the entire time. And then you do little outpost trips to Batu and then go back to the hotel. I think it's going to be unbelievable. I'm guessing. Do you think they use those double doors down at the end to let you in? Do you think that's where the drop post is? Right?
I don't know how they're going to do it, man.
Yeah, I can't think of another spot except for right where you enter the marketplace where Rise is, but I don't know where the show buildings are. I never looked at that on Google Maps, so that's probably less likely.
Yeah, I haven't figured out how they're going to do it. It's supposed to be all immersive. You're only supposed to be going to Batu when you're doing the cruise, but how are they going to keep you from going to Toy Story Land? I mean, it's right there.
Yeah.
So I guess that would be a guest choice.
Keep you. I don't think they're going to keep you. I think they're going to allow you to go and explore and check everything out. I don't think they're going to keep you necessarily on that location. It would be really weird to try to corral people. I mean, I guess they could to try to keep you immersed. I think it'll be just like a cruise where you go to an island and you're allowed 4 hours and then you got to get back to get, onto the ship again. And they'll probably have shuttles for people running late and you'll just probably end up missing experiences. Maybe it's shows, maybe it's lightsaber training or whatever it is.
Yeah. So I've started a new segment. The only person I've done it with so far is Derek from Satisfactual Sign Co. when he was on not too long ago. It's an Instagram deep dive, but your Instagram is like almost so straightforward. I had to really dig, man. So
yeah. So like where you pull up a picture and you ask for more context.
Yeah. So I'm going to do that real quick.
It's time for an Instagram deep dive.
All right, so we're going to start with this one.
I love your segue. That's a great. I feel like I'm in 20,000 leagues. Hang on, let me. Where do I gotta go? Here we go.
Right.
Here we go. I'm scooting over.
With this one, it's kind of self-explanatory. You're standing next to the picture of Flynn Rider from Tangled. Mm-hmm. You're trying to smolder. Is that what's happening here? What's going on?
So it's actually really funny. This is from an after hours event. So I was in the process of going on 10 or more rides and eating 10 or more Mickey bars at the same time. I cataloged it. It's on our YouTube channel, WalrusCarp. You can check it out. But yeah, I popped into my favorite bathroom and did a little smolder action. That was the best. Obviously, clearly I can't smolder, but that's my best duck lip thing I got going on.
So, well, the biggest thing that actually, the smolder got me, right? But the hat, bro, you knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. What's up with the hat? Is that from opening day?
Oh, dude, that's from. So I'm a huge fan, and if anybody else is likes to have like cool, nostalgic, historic things that are functional, like to me, functional things. Like I collect mugs, I collect hats, I do collect wishables, but I love wearable things that are vintage. And in fact, I actually bought a bunch of Splash Mountain t-shirts right before they announced Splash Mountain was going away, and they went up ridiculous in value, but I like wearing them. It's like so cool to have like a piece of wearable living history. Those hats I think I paid $20 from that. That hat's from like 1987.
That is amazing.
And it's old school captain hat with like the epaulets on the front.
Right.
Just an old school looking hat. I have a really cool old MGM hat that I love. So yeah, I love collecting old nostalgic Disney stuff. And they're really affordable. Like you would think that thing should be way more than $20.
Yeah.
And we got constant compliments about it because who doesn't love an old school Disney hat?
And that hat, you said if it's from 87, it's actually older than I am. It's a year older than I am. So that is awesome.
By 4 years. So
yeah. And for our younger listeners who might be checking us out, MGM is now Hollywood Studios. In case you didn't know that, just to clarify there, because some people still get confused.
Yeah, well, a big part of Disney's success and ability, you got to remember that, and it's kind of funny that a lot of these theme park guys, they're all entrepreneurs and they have to figure out ways to subsidize costs. Disney was one of the best at coming up with ideas. And I think there's a quote where it's, we'll find the money. And I think he's probably talking to Roy at this point, who's freaking out because he was mainly the CFO of the Walt Disney Company. And a lot of the attractions for the World's Fair had major sponsors, and then they took the trip back from Chicago over to California to create Disneyland. And the same thing happened at Disney World with rides. And so for MGM to even happen, that was a major studio sponsorship. And we still call it MGM. I call it MGM still, Sometimes I'll call it studios if I'm feeling cool, I'll never call it Hollywood Studios. Good luck on that.
And Chase, one of our Patreon members, who is now chasing Bama, he's recently changed. He moved from Orlando back to Tuscaloosa. He's got to get used to the time change again. But he's got a YouTube channel that has a lot of fun over there. But what was I going to say? Oh, MGM. I've always thought it was kind of funny since I've learned the history and all that Walt Disney gladly took their money as a sponsorship. When MGM kind of screwed him over in the early beginnings, right?
Well, some of the problems that you have on bringing in a movie production is that they're in the movie business. So like distribution is a huge issue, especially with the context. Now, if you think about it now, Disney did the most incredible thing. They're doing direct to consumer, which you're noticing. I'm going to get a little deep on economics for like 1 second. Everything is going direct to consumer. Even us right now, we're going direct to your audience, right? Like this is what people want. They want direct information from people. They don't necessarily want it filtered down or wholesaled or distributed from somebody who isn't as close to either their product. That's why farm to table is so popular. That's why local is so popular. The same thing can be said about Disney now has 0 issues of distribution. So if like Cinemark or somebody didn't want to carry a film, or because of something like COVID really pushed Disney Plus to a level of subscribership that they could only dream of in year 1, completely uncontrollable. but they're thinking, hey, Netflix, we had some issues with licensing and distribution with Netflix. We should really own our own IP and keep everything on there. Now, there still are some extensions. Like you can still watch Princess and the Frog on Netflix still. It hasn't been pulled, but a lot of that is now exclusive to Disney Plus. So I think you're going to see more and more direct to Disney Plus, less theater releases as more people have gotten used to that.
Well, and I was talking about like way early, because wasn't it MGM that Walt actually went to with Oswald and pitched the idea, and they shot him down. They said that will never work. It's not going to happen. And then they took the idea.
Right. Well, so that was the problem. And that's why Mortimer Mouse, AKA Mickey, ends up becoming the #1 icon. And I think it's because they actually owns some of the distribution rights to Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, and hence why we moved forward. But, you know, for the better, if you can see in hindsight, you know, long-term plans, and we talked about this earlier, when you view things in long timelines and realize that you're going to live, you know, many, many more decades, you know, another 7 decades, like that's a lot of time to accomplish a ridiculous amount. So people have to stop thinking in short term, you know. Look at how amazing Hershey Park today. People were buying t-shirts of candy bars. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, people have had that much of a connection and a joy and have ridden rides and got excited about a fake chocolate world. Like, it's a candy company. It's unreal. And same thing with Disney. Disney did an amazing ability. I have a crazy audacious goal to eventually open our own theme park, but so many things have to happen down that road. But I got 70 to 80 years to do it. I'm good.
That'd be amazing. Oh my gosh, that would be incredible. So I do have one more picture from your Instagram that I gotta get some story behind. You ready?
Yep. Oh yeah.
I mean, the ears. Let's start with the ears. What year is this? How old are you here?
So I am probably either 20 or 21. I'm probably 21. I'm probably 21 here. In the Germany pavilion, lederhosen ears with the pretzel on there, which, come on, man. Like, if this isn't the most authentic me from such a long time, there is a Disney cookbook behind there. So this is actually in the Germany pavilion. And I know we are eating pretzels and probably drinking giant German beers too. But it used to be, even for Mel and I, we would go to Food and Wine Fest every November, because both of us were teachers when we met each other. And in New Jersey, we would get the very first week of November 4 days off. So you'd have the weekend plus Thursday, Friday for New Jersey teaching convention. And so that was our thing. We would go down and we would go to all the parks and we would have an awesome time. So this is from one of those trips.
The ears are amazing, dude.
Yeah, dude. And like, I like how the ears had a hat in the middle too. Like, it had the hat had a hat, which, I mean, come on, hats on hats. I'm into it.
You're not going to find those kind of ears anywhere now. Do you still have those?
You know, I mean, you can. There are some unique small shops that make some really cool designs. I think that's the one thing that is really fun. Is for those that feel that Disney has lost the magic or lost the experience, or maybe they just aren't coming out with. And in fact, that's the reason why we started a clothing company. Is I like Disney clothes, but any of the button downs, which I don't wear a ton of t-shirts. I mainly wear button downs, short sleeve button downs. They had none that didn't feel like I was wearing a burlap sack or would cost $150 plus, which I thought was not affordable for families or guys to wear or girls to wear. So that was the process, is to figure out a way to make a comfortable in the Florida heat shirt that was stretchable, breathable, and had fun Disney IP, Mickey premium bars on this one, Dole Whips on the other. And then from there, it blossomed into dad jokes and humor, went all over the t-shirts. You know, like, I can't afford to buy all the products in the world, right? So we have sunglasses, so polarized sunglasses. We have the shirts, the woven shirts, which those are the only ones that actually own inventory. So when you're looking right here, this is a box of woven shirts. These are the Aloha Whip, which are our Dole Whip ones. So like, t-shirts are print on demand, which means that I don't have to carry inventory. So when somebody buys one of our designs, it was a way to expand our inventory, allow creative discipline to make a lot more without having to put up more capital. Now, in a perfect world, I'd much rather do screen printing, us ship it out, because when you buy a Dole Whip shirt or a Mickey Premium Bar shirt or the Mickey Premium Bar sunglasses, I actually can write a handwritten note. I actually will take a park map and I'll write down all the places that I think are some of the best food, and I'll highlight it. I'll put it in our branded packages. Everybody gets a Disney pin, where I can't do that with the t-shirt. So it's kind of missing, you know?
If you didn't see, I did an Instagram post when I got our sunglasses and everything in from Kirk. This is a few months ago now, I guess. He included a Tinkerbell pin for Sarah, which was fantastic.
Well, we had that great podcast, and she mentioned Tinkerbell and how she despised the floating Tinkerbell in the fireworks show. So I had to throw a little salt in the wound.
All right. So Elizabeth asked here, how does your sizing run on your shirts?
Sizing wise on the t-shirts are true to fit. So whatever size you are in t-shirt, that is 100% spot on the wovens. And I've had plenty of women buy the wovens too, which I was kind of surprised by, but I've seen some really cute pictures too of women wearing the wovens. Which is crazy. I will tell you, I've never manufactured or designed clothing ever in my life. So I had to create something that's called a tech pack, which is basically a specification on all measurements. I literally went to Marshall's, grabbed shirts, measured them, took those specifications, found a supplier overseas in Asia who were able to print, package, and ship all these things to me, completely custom designed. And honestly, I screwed it up. These are a size too small. But like, if you're going to create clothes from scratch, you got to figure it out some way. So I learned that to anybody who buys a woven from us, I always send them an email and say that they run small. We also do 100% refunds or exchanges on sizes of any of our products if you're not happy, because, you know, that's what good businesses do. Right.
And the sunglasses, dude. I wear them every single day.
Stop, dude. I wear, no joke, I used to wear Ray-Bans, polarized Ray-Bans all the time. These are $22, and I wear them every single day. They're incredible. They have the Mickey Premium Bar on the side, and then it's like a bluish tint, and they're polarized, and they're super, super comfortable. I always am wearing the sunglasses. Everyone in our family does too, because I hooked up and gave everybody sunglasses.
Right.
And it's a really affordable way. I've had people ask me like, dude, I need more sunglasses. It's a little expensive to do a 550 sunglass run, but people want Dole Whips. I'm thinking if I do like a citrus swirl, like an Adventure Island kind of, or Adventureland kind of theme with some Adventureland stuff, like maybe it has, I'll probably have to put out a bunch of designs and have people vote on the ones that they want or do a pre-sale. But yeah, definitely want to do it.
Yeah, because I wear mine every day. I'm a truck driver, so Chase says here, James, you wear your sunglasses while in the dark while driving. No, but we always, like, during the night, we work our way over to the west side of the state. So early in the morning, I'm heading east, and that sun is right there in front of me. Dude, these sunglasses are bouncing around in the truck all freaking night long. There's not a scratch on them. They are so durable. I freaking love them.
You know, the one thing that nobody tells you about anything when you're starting something new is that you have to buy samples, especially when you're producing clothing or producing sunglasses. The other thing too is sunglasses have to be ballast rated. So meaning like shock proof, that it won't like jostle and fall apart. The other thing too is I could have went really cheap and got plastic hinges. I didn't want to go cheap. So I went with metal hinges that you can, if you like them, tighter, you can tighten them, or you can loosen them if you like a looser fit. It's up to you. It also, I wanted to make sure that the spacing in here wasn't too tight. You know, there's a lot of people who have like bigger heads. I got a big head. So sunglasses, sometimes you're like, and you got to like bend them, right? So I didn't want that either. It's a crazy process creating something from scratch, and then polarized lenses had to be a must. And then price point had to be good enough where they were affordable. I think, when I look at sunglasses online, anything that's over, like $60 is insane to pay for sunglasses. They are legit polarized in UV. And polarization, for those that don't know, because I didn't know, I had to Google it when I was trying to figure out if they should be UV 400 or polarized. Well, polarized just means that there's less glare. So in terms of light, and especially early morning glare, and even glare on headlights when it starts getting dusk, it does limit that. It is noticeably different when you wear the sunglasses. It's probably I wear the shirts a lot, but the sunglasses I wear every single day.
Well, and something you didn't mention with the polarized is so when you go down to Disney and you get those guided fishing tours, polarized sunglasses is what you want to wear out on the water because it's going to help you be able to see through the water. You'll be able to see the fish more and all that. So they're fantastic, dude.
The other thing too is the polarization that I selected has the ability to unlock your screen, where a lot of the polarized ones have a shade too dark. So face recognition, if you use that to unlock your screen, will not work. Ours does work through the polarized lens. So it's, I don't know, just another little feature that I wanted to have that I knew was important to a lot of people.
Yeah, dude.
And the other thing too is like seeing your screen. You know, some polarized sunglasses are really hard to see screens and you have to turn them or angle them. I didn't want that as well.
Yeah. I've experienced none of those problems. I hadn't even thought about that. You know, most sunglasses you're having to like pull down to, look at your phone and all. That's
so I ordered sunglasses from a ton of different people and different samples to see like which ones I liked. Right. And some of the proof were horrendous, or the build quality was bad, or the communication was poor. So all those things as a business owner kind of like come into play. I was looking to see if I had. At one point, I was going to do a limited run of Max style sunglasses from a Goofy movie. You know, the ones he wears as power line. I'm trying to see if I had. Give me like 2 seconds. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic.
Dude,
what's the best ride at Magic Kingdom?
Splash Mountain. That's not even a question.
Yeah.
But dude, the power line sunglasses. Have you seen the explosion on social media, especially TikTok, of Goofy movie love?
The shades I've ever seen in my life. So these aren't it. There's a red pair that I had, but look, check out these bad boys.
Dude.
Look at that. So there was several ones. This was one of them, but there's a wraparound one I couldn't find. But these are crazy looking sunglasses.
Those are amazing.
Yeah, there's some wild stuff you can find. I feel like I'm either the Moon Man from like McDonald's commercials or Max Headroom, for anybody who knows who I'm talking about.
Dude, Powerline sunglasses would kill right now.
Yeah, I'm so stupid, and obviously, this is a side thing. So I do about 20 hours a week on this. I'm a full-time director of sales and marketing for a brewery here in New Jersey. So that dominates all my time, plus kiddo time. So this really lives and breathes at around 8:30 until midnight is pretty much where I get all of my work done. And then obviously the trips for content, right. When we're in parks. So yeah, it's but I would love to do like a pre-sale for something like that, because they would really do well, but you want to gauge it first before you go all in and buy them,
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like we could make that happen. There's, like I said, it's blowing up on TikTok, man. You put it on there. Goofy movie has gained so much traction.
Yeah. It's actually a guy who spent so much time doing it, but he redid the entire scene of After Today, that song. It's like the montage when he's in school. And he redid it live action and frame for frame. And it's incredible. I don't know how many views it has on YouTube, but it was done years ago, like probably 4 or 5 years ago. And it's just really fun to see this video if you're into live action and you're into Goofy movie. Yeah,
I hadn't seen that. I got to check that out. All right, so we're going to start wrapping up because we've already been going over an hour. We could literally do this for hours. We're definitely going to have a part 2. Wow. We went all over, dude. But one thing we haven't talked about, and I said before, at the beginning of the show, we were probably going to talk about. So we got to. Did you see the testing of Happily Ever After at Magic Kingdom last night?
I did. My buddy Matt from Disney Coffee Blog had put it on because he lives over in Winter Garden, so super close. And yeah, I saw it, and they actually were playing the music too. So I'm like,
Yes.
this is awesome. Yeah, it looks great.
I mean, there were YouTubers that were streaming from the resorts. You know, they were piping the music in through the resorts, which I didn't. When we have seen firework testing recently, you know, since the pandemic and everything, it's just been, you know, a few bursts here and there, right? It hasn't been, but they went all out, did the full out Happily Ever After show, projections, music, Tinkerbell flew, like all out, dude. It was there.
I wasn't expecting that. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was amazing. I was so excited. There were, you know, I got some group chats going on Instagram and everything. People's like, Chase said, I need some tissues. Somebody bring me some tissues in the group chats. He said, I still haven't had my part 2. Well, Chase, we're going to actually get you in studio for your part 2.
Yeah, dude, you Bama fellas have to hang out together.
Dude,
how far are you guys close?
Yeah, he's about an hour and a half.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, so we got to get him in studio to be our first in studio guest.
Wait, did you name your studio? I know some people do that.
I mean, we've tossed around some ideas, but we haven't really named it per se.
Okay.
I'm trying to
like live from the.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about like Steamboat Studio was one.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. That's great. Plus, if you wait like 2 more years, you can straight up steal Steamboat Willie because he'll be in the public domain and use it for your logo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the copyright is expiring on that pretty soon.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that. I'm waiting. I've asked Derek, I don't know how many times, you know, hey, when are you going to do a Steamboat Willie sign? You know, because like I want a sign to hang up to make it official.
Well,
you know,
I think you need to, if you make Steamboat Studio your thing, I think you know a guy who can make one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Derek, beat him up though, dude. Like beat him over the head on price because that's like so specific.
Dude, Derek gets us on price anyways. Come on, man. He does such incredible stuff. It's like, you know, people get mad because they're like, I can't get a sign. I wanted this one and this one and this one. Well, that's where you screwed up. You got to go for one at a time. Yeah,
well, they're handmade, they're handcrafted, they're gorgeous. They look as close to an actual prop. So yeah, he can get whatever he wants because nobody else is in that game at the level he is.
Right.
People are making signs, but they don't look like that.
No, they have not reached his potential. And he's just getting better. Have you seen his Black Spire Outpost one?
No. Oh, I gotta see that. No, I do not.
Oh, dude, I'll send you one.
Instagram?
I don't know if he's got it on his Instagram or not.
Okay. I was gonna pop on to Instagram real quick and see if I can find it.
Actually, all right, let me save this. I can actually put it up on screen here real quick.
Oh, okay. Hang on. I do. What do I have to do? I think I have to turn the.
Here, I got you.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it coming here in just a second. This is one that he just did.
Is it different than this one? This like copper one?
So this is
yeah.
Of a rustic looking one that he was just playing around with. He just posted it today on his Facebook group.
Oh, I love it.
So yeah.
It actually looks similar to the gift cards that they're doing too.
Yeah,
like those that I forget what they call them, but yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's what he's doing with, you know, shooting for there. So yeah.
It looks awesome.
Yeah. We gotta get some more of your stuff too though. Sarah's been stealing my shirt, dude. I asked her today, I was like, hey, where's my shirt at? She's like, in the dryer. I'm like, why is it in the dryer? She's like, I wore it the other day. Like, seriously, quit.
Yeah, but isn't that like anything, right? Like, you guys like Piano Rob, so obviously you guys are gonna have his shirts and his clothes because he's such a great guy, right? And anything that's good and somebody else has connection to, they will steal. That's just the deal.
She's got her own Piano Rob shirt.
Yeah, well, yeah, but maybe hers was dirty.
I don't know, man. She kills me. I don't get it. Why do women steal our stuff all the time?
Hoodies are notorious. My wife has confiscated many of my hoodies.
Yes. Let's see. And Dwayne said he's got to go get him some more WalrusCarp gear too.
Dwayne, hit me up, man. I got you covered, brother. Let me know what you're looking for.
So WalrusCarp.com, right?
Yep, WalrusCarp.
You're on Instagram.
Animal carp like the fish.com.
Right. Yep.
Then, on Instagram, you can see it on here, Walrus Carp Clothing. On TikTok, Walrus Carp. On Spotify and all podcasting is Walrus Carp. With YouTube. So pretty much everything except for Instagram is the same, and walruscarp.com to find all the clothes as well, and a couple of blog posts, which I'm terrible at.
Yeah, just and if you're watching live or listening to the podcast, wherever his links are down in the description, but he's easy to find. It's a unique name. All you got to do is go type in WalrusCarp and you're going to find him.
That's it, brother.
So, all right, dude, this was a lot of fun, man. Thank you so much.
It's easy when you have a commonality of having fun and Disney. So I could do this forever and never get bored. And that's the other thing I always like to talk about the Disney parks. They are not museums. The history always changes, and that's what keeps it fresh and fun.
Yeah. And like I said, we're going to do a Haunted Mansion episode before too long. That'll be one of the bonus shows that we've talked about. It'll be a Patreon only stream. So if you want to watch that live, go join our Patreon. I'm really excited about that. I'm probably going to lean on Kirk a lot for those episodes because he is a killer with the history. Well, he was a history teacher, so it makes sense.
I am such a geek for the Haunted Mansion, and there are so many stories. It's insane how much they put into the creation of that attraction. And obviously, they got a second pass at it with Disney World so they could add some additional elements.
Yes.
And then they had to redo the queue where they added even more backstory, and some things that actually came from guests have become a part of the actual stories and lore of the Haunted Mansion as well. There's so much in there. And the reason the storyline is like partly scary and then turns delightfully funny towards the end. Differences took a long time to complete. There's a lot to dive into, and I love it. Every time I'm on that ride, I point something out and people geek out. And after we exit, they'll be like right behind me and they'll be like, "Oh my God, I saw whatever it was."
Right.
There's a really cool painting of somebody that you never ever see, and it doesn't really get mentioned, but it's a very special painting of a specific narrator. Ooh. But I won't. That's a little tease action for you.
Ooh, I'm excited for that. I'm excited. Hey,
I'm gonna have to preface and get a bunch of pictures just to add some clarity for those that are viewing, and then we'll describe them for sure for anybody who's just audio only.
Hey, and he came in an hour and 17 minutes late. Mark Valentine, the host of this DisLife podcast, is here. It's right, Donald. You got to be kidding me. He's an hour late, man. What is going on? So, all right. So there it is. You've got your teaser for the Haunted Mansion episode. That's going to be a lot of fun. Go check Kirk out everywhere. Just go search WalrusCarp. You're going to find him Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Wow. Everywhere, literally. And he's pushing out the content. Make sure you watch his Instagram stories. He kills the stories. He's always got the dad jokes rolling. You can also go back to season 2, episode 20 of this DisLife podcast, where he was on there, DisLife and the Walrus. Man, they covered a lot from Disney to Action Park. I mean, everything is in there. So go check that out. And Kirk and Dwayne had a dad joke off, which was, again, that was fantastic. So
he did great too. I mean, you can't go up against me in a dad joke off when I tell a dad joke every day. It's just, I have more practice. I have more reps, you're not going to be able to come at me unless you really do some research and find some good ones.
There you go. And Dwayne, to close it out here, he says, I think Mark and I want to do another Legends of Magic Kingdom with Kirk and do Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Stop. I want to do that. One of my favorites. I am a huge fan of dark rides. It's probably my favorite type of ride ever, and will continue to be because it'll be one of the few I can ride into my 80s and 90s. So dark rides forever. Mr. Toad's always trumps Princess Hall. Bring it back.
And season 2, episode 23, y'all did 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. So
we did, and talked about how Mark is terrified of underwater audio animatronics.
And isn't there actually, there was a word for that, isn't there?
It's something, it has like hydro mecha something or other.
Yeah.
Keep talking in filler and I'll find it.
No, we're going to go ahead. We're going to close it out here. Again, thank you so much, Kirk. Go check him out, everybody. We're going to have him back again real soon. Like I said, we're going to do the Haunted Mansion. We're going to dive into his shop and talk about all of his incredible ideas. Breadman Tells No Tales. There's got to be a story behind that. We're going to get it.
There is. And a lot of, you know what? I do a lot of collaborations with people I really enjoy the company with. So if you guys ever want to talk about maybe doing a shirt for you guys, I do that completely at gratis, and we just share some of the benefits. So
that'd be awesome, man. I appreciate it. And any closing thoughts, Kirk?
No, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. This is like one of those great podcasts where you genuinely can tell that people are not doing it for fame, fortune. It's just straight up because of the love of the parks. This is the kind of community that I want to be a part of, not a group that's here for just virality and for attention. This is not about attention. This is about having a better time at the parks with your families. So I love what you guys do, and it's honestly a true pleasure to be a part of your community for a brief period. So thank you for having me on.
Thank you so much, buddy. And for those of you listening, for the missing Sarah, Kirk, I'm James. We'll be talking to you real soon.
And so our journey comes to an end, but yours continues on. Grab hold of your dreams and make them come true. For you are the key to unlocking your own magic. Now go, let your dreams guide you. Reach out and find your happily ever after.
Oh, so good.